Travel and Things in association with Sun Destinations, iconic destinations with amazing experiences, present In Conversation With. I am your host, David Batsoffen, and I am so happy to welcome somebody that I worked with in 2007, and that's Tali Kodesh. Tal, good morning. Welcome to you. Actress, the role of a lifetime. What is this all about?
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Dave. You say 2007, and I kind of go, wow, that was a
Yeah,
long time
we
ago.
will rock you in New Zealand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. There it
there it is. Now I'll go back into therapy again. Um, so tell me about Actress. It's you, it's Collett Dawson, it's Bruce Dennill. I mean, it is the who's who of theatre personalities in Johannesburg that
Wow.
you have gathered around yourself.
And it happened so naturally, organically, beautifully. I I felt like I didn't have to work very hard to
Right.
get what I'm calling the dream team.
Mm.
It really is the dream team that is surrounding me in this project, and I couldn't be more blessed.
So,
I'll chat more about who's on that team if you'd like just now, but
yeah, please, because we are going to go through that. So if this is you, this is Tal Kodesh, mother, wife, daughter, all of those things. So what is your superpower? And do you have
oh
one?
oh um it's such an interesting question because it's actually such a it's a question that people often ask, and I've never been asked that myself, so I've never really had to think about it. I'd like to think that my superpower is helping other people find their
Okay.
superpower. I've gone into a lot of performance coaching. That's
Mm.
become sort of my favorite place to be these days. And seeing a student that I've been working with uh, thrive and achieve and
Mm.
find their superpower has been something I don't know, I've honed that skill, and I find often I'm able to
Okay.
access that in someone else, which has been really an incredible journey. I never thought I would be good
Mm.
at that, but
But you are.
I've really, oh, yeah, well, I hope so.
So tell us about Actress. What is it all about?
So it's the actual story of Actress, the events that occur in this person's life
Mm.
in the show is incidental. It could be anybody telling any story, really. It's the themes about the show that are so relevant, important, and hopefully people can resonate with. And
Right.
those themes are success, failure, success again, fail again, the different hats we have to wear every single day, the different roles we have to play, multiple roles in one day.
Mm.
What are everybody's expectations of us? What are the expectations we have for ourselves?
True enough.
Yeah, and adjusting, I guess. You have an idea, you have a vision, and then something changes and you have to adjust. So it's really about that. And like I said, it just happens to tell the story of a woman who starts out as a hungry young actress wanting to make it and travels all the way through every kind of success and failure to being a mother, a wife of two children, and living a very contained,
Mm.
small life.
Right.
And in that small life, how she grows and becomes the biggest she's ever been. So
Is
it's, yeah.
so is this your story, or is this a combination of women that you have known over the years, and you've sort of combined it all together and made you the spokesperson, basically?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I would often be sitting with colleagues, friends in any area, my mother friends, my dancer friends, my actor friends, and we would be chatting, and I'd say, can I use this in my show? Can I use this in my play? And they would all go, absolutely, of course, take it. So, and not just women. I'd be chatting
Oh,
to
okay.
yeah, I have a wonderful trainer,
Mm.
and he's a young guy in his late 30s, and we would be talking, and I would ask him, I said, can I use this in my show? And he goes, absolutely. So when deciding, I mean, maybe I should go right back to the inception of this
Yeah.
play, the musical. When I was living in New York with my we weren't married yet.
Mm.
My now husband, we were just partners at the time. He was studying, and we were in New York, and I was kind of hanging around New York. I couldn't work. He was doing his MBA at Columbia, and I was just being a sponge, and I was
Okay.
taking whatever I could. And the one thing that happened was I was listening to a lot of amazing songwriters, and they were all writing music that told the most incredible stories. And I thought to myself, one day when I do a one-woman show, I am going to do it with original music. I have no idea who's going to write that music or where I'm going to get it from, and that was in 2010.
Okay.
And ever since then, I've had that little seed that has been sitting in my head. Original
here
music.
We are, 13 years later.
Yeah.
Enter stage left, Bruce Dennill with guitar.
There you go. And we had a catch-up coffee after COVID, because I think we were all just desperate to make connections with each other.
Talk to anybody, passing
absolutely
people, strangers in a shopping mall.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking about his songwriting, and I thought, wow, I'd never listened to his songs, and I downloaded some of his songs, and about 2 weeks later, I messaged him. I said, let's have another coffee. And we had a coffee, and I then said to him, I told him about my idea about this woman show thing that I've been kind of thinking about, and he went, yeah, I'll write your music, of course.
Yeah, Bruce is like that. I've followed his career for over 20 years, and I've seen what he can do, and his music gets better and better. Oh, really, truly.
Dave, I can't wait for you to hear his music. Oh, it's just I want to see, I want to have a camera on the audience to see their face every time another song comes. Oh, yeah. And he would churn out a song in an afternoon.
And how do the songs interweave with your story? Are they enhancements, or are they just part of the tale?
They are. That was another very important thing that in discussion with Bruce, once he had hopped on board, and he had said to me, well, what is the show about? And I said, I don't know. And
it's a show. Why do we
said, it's about your music. That's what the show's about, Bruce. And he said, well, you know what, like, write what you know. And we were like, yeah, I guess people do that, and that's like the main heading of any book about writing is write what you know. So we thought, okay, well, let's write what I know. And we started. And I said to him, another thing that is very, very, very important to me is that the songs must move the story along. Okay. Either you've said what you needed to say in the scene and then move on to the next theme, or you've said what you've needed to say in the song and then move on to the next. Yeah.
And now you've put that all together. You're sitting over coffee and you go, all right, we got the music, we got the rhythm, we got all that. Who's going to help us put this together and get it out there into the public space? Again, enter stage right with a notebook and a phone. Collett Dawson, who has been in this business. There is no, if she doesn't know a telephone number, the person attached to that number is not worth knowing. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely. I can't believe how connected Collett is.
Yep.
I will say to her, oh, Collett, I just got wind of somebody mentioned someone's name. And she said, yeah, no, already chatted to them, an interview already set up. Don't worry, Talia, you go just be actress and it's all sorted. So
is this the most adventurous thing you've ever done? Is actress the most adventurous thing?
Yeah, by a long shot.
So no bungee jumping, no climbing Kilimanjaro, none of that sort of, well, you're a mom of two. That's enough adventure.
I was chatting last night to some friends about skiing, and they want to organize a skiing trip. And I said, I'll wait at the bottom of the slope with the glue vine for you all.
Yeah. You and Gwyneth Paltrow. So this is the most adventurous, and it's going to be performed at Monte Cassino, which is a nice venue. I take it's upstairs at the Peter Turin.
Yes.
A very nice, very intimate, scary venue because the audience is right on top of you. That front row could almost be sitting on the stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they can see your nose hairs. I don't have any, but if I had, they would.
If you had. So tell us something about you that might surprise us.
I wanted my dream, and still secretly, was, so not going to happen anymore, but was to be a doctor, a surgeon, actually.
Oh, wow. All right.
Oh, I just am
you want to cut things open. You know, being a butcher is you could become a butcher. It's shorter, the course is easier, and things don't die if stuff goes wrong. But you get to cut things up on a daily basis, Tal. If that's what you want.
I remember chatting to somebody who's a doctor and a surgeon, and I said, is it unethical for me to come and watch your operations? Why would you want to do that? And I said, because I'm a closet surgeon. I want to feel like I'm being a surgeon.
I've been invited to watch a couple, and I chickened out at the last moment because the doctor concerned said, one thing you're not allowed to do. If you pass out, we're going to leave you lying on the floor. It's until we're done. It's as simple as that. I said, thanks, but no thanks. I can watch it on television. I can watch heart operations. I love them. I find them exciting and interesting and all of that type of thing. But I don't know if I could be in the room. So where did that dream fall off your road?
It kind of happened immediately after matric. When I was in high school, funnily enough, theatre was not my be all and end all. I was passionate about biology, the subject, and passionate about fine arts. I would either be with my biology teacher or my art teacher, and I did very well in biology, and I realized how interesting I found the subject, and then when it was time to decide what you're going to be when you're big, I thought, well, I should look at medicine because it fascinates me, and there's nothing about it that is boring to me. And I was still dancing and very, very much into my ballet, and my mom had a studio, and so it was a toss-up between this artistic life and this medical life, and then I was looking into medicine as an option, and Vicky Friedman
Yeah.
was busy doing her musical theatre course at TUT, Tshwane University of Technology. And she was telling me about it and saying I should think about it and I should consider it. And I thought, wow, that sounds like far more fun and far less studying than in medicine.
Being a surgeon.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what? You dance every day and you sing and you do what, like 3 hours of theory? I was like, that sounds like much more fun. And it's in Pretoria. And it's like, yeah, I'll do that rather. And it really was felt at the time like a casual decision. And I realized that I was as interested in that, and I loved that theater as well. I guess it was a toss-up between theaters.
Well, there you go. You see, the universe has other plans. You wake up in the morning, you go, I want to be a Simba Chippy, and then you aren't a Simba Chippy and you're something else. So the flip side of that is, if this is the most adventurous thing that you've done, what are you most proud of?
I think I'm most proud of creating a platform where these brilliant people can do what they're brilliant at. You know, I didn't want it to be about me and my story. That's almost irrelevant. I wanted it to reach people and touch people, make people. I wanted to move people. And I thought, well, how am I going to do that? I'm going to do that with the most beautiful music. I'm going to do that with the best lighting. I'm going to do that with a set and costumes that are meaningful. And I'm going to do that with somebody who's going to direct me in that direction.
I was about to say, you've led me very nicely into that question, because while you were chatting, I thought, we've spoken about Bruce, we've spoken about Collett, but who's directing? And there it is. You've tossed it into the ring.
So Daniel Geddes is our director. Right. I had never met him, I'd only seen him in the productions he's been in, and I knew of him. And Collett and Bruce were quite keen on the four of us having a meeting. And we met and we were finishing each other's sentences. And I thought, yeah, there you go. He gets it. He just gets this show, this play.
How much input do you have? I mean, you know, you've got 4 very strong characters involved with the actress. And if he says walk up stage and turn left, do you go, no, I would never do that. I'm going to walk off into the wings and wait for people to applaud before I come back? You know, that type of thing. Or have you said to him, this is me, this is actress, I'm handing it over to you, and if you say I must do, then I trust you that it will work and look correct?
Yeah, that. Yeah. Because you know what, Dave, also the thing is, I like I've said before, I don't want it to be about Tali Kodesh. She doesn't even have a name in the show. She's nameless.
Okay.
And there's never a mention of her name. And so Bruce and I, there is a lot of the show that is completely fictional. It is made up. It is not even exaggerated versions of my story. It completely didn't exist in my life.
Right.
And so it's not about me at all. I don't want it to be about me. And I said to Daniel recently, about a week ago, I said, this is your baby now. Take it. If there's something that doesn't resonate with me as an actress, not as Tali Kodesh, as an actress playing this role, I'll say, oh, that doesn't feel right. Or how can we improve on something about this particular area? But but it's his. It's his now.
Okay. Now, when is
Yeah.
it going to be performed? When will the audience that we've whetted their appetites now, when will they be able to see it?
So the first show is on the 27th of September,
Right.
and then it runs until the 8th of October.
Okay, so nice. And if they build, you know, that from Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. If the audiences love it, is there a possibility of an extension?
I hope so. Definitely.
Okay.
Just she needs to grow. I don't want her to
You one
die.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's always Cape Town, because Peter has the theater down there, and it's a nice time of the year. At some stage in our careers, we've all worked for the man. If Where to from here? What is next for Tali? I know that this is front of mind now, but there's got to be a post actress plan in place.
Yeah, well, in terms of a follow-up production, or at the moment, I would, if there is life after actress, I would like the actual show to grow and develop. And again, I am open to any kind of possibility there.
Okay.
And in terms of Tali Kodesh, I am passionate about my teaching.
Okay.
And that has grown and grown and grown over the years, that I now consider myself an actress and a teacher, not a teacher who used to act, or an actor who teaches on the side. Yeah.
So yeah. So who do you look up to?
I'm hoping to build that.
Okay.
I'm hoping to build on that, definitely.
Fair enough.
Yes.
So who do you look up to, and why? Who is your mentor in this industry?
Well, Dave, I do mention every single time I talk about my development in my career, and the trajectory that my career took. I mention every time, without fail and with absolute congruence and authenticity, Brian Schimmel, because I strongly believe that without him, I don't know that I would have, the opportunities would have been plopped in front of me the way that they were.
Yeah.
It's a lovely, lovely story that I tell everybody about what he did for me in the very, very early years of my career.
Which was?
And I was a very shy, believe it or not.
That's hard to believe.
Insecure dancer who could sing very nicely.
Right.
And it was the We Will Rock You very, very first round of local auditions before the international cast set foot in the country. And they did a pre-audition process, and I went in as a dancer who could sing.
Right.
And we stood in a semicircle, and he sang, I think it might have even been Happy Birthday or something. I can't even remember what it was. And he walked around and he put his ear to each of our mouths, listening to, obviously, the tone of our voice, the quality of our voice. And he came to me afterwards and he says, you know, you have a rock voice in there. And I said, no, I don't. I have a jeté. I don't have a rock voice. And he started coaching me, and don't ask me how, he pulled out of me a rock voice that I didn't even know would be possible. And the very first round of international auditions, we danced first, and I got cut. And under normal circumstances, that would have been, thanks, Tali Kodesh, we'll see you at the next audition for the next show.
Yeah.
But he said to them, okay, yeah, maybe she's not a strong dancer for this particular show, but just listen to her sing. And they trusted him and believed him and called me back. And it went from that to going back every single day for another callback and another callback and another possible lead and another possible lead, and until the end of that week, which was the most grueling week I've ever experienced,
imagine.
To getting in the show and understudying both of the Scaramouche and Oz.
I know. I worked with you for 3 months in New Zealand. I watched you every night, and sometimes twice on a Sunday.
So that's what Brian did for me, and what he continued to do for me was he pulled me out on when I was not cutting it. He would pull me aside and say, "Tals, no, this is not. Change this." He would help me prep for an audition. He would, when I wasn't going to audition for Rent, because I don't know why, he said, "Don't be ridiculous. I will drag you there if it's you." And
the last thing
so
I do.
Yeah, and with actress now, we called in to come and give his input and his.
I was about to ask you, because doing a one-woman show, you didn't have to audition. You can't get cut. It's your show. If they cut you, there's an empty stage with a set lighting, and that's it. And Bruce's music, and people will just sit there and listen to his music. So it's a whole different kettle of fish. So I'm really nice that Brian is still part of your narrative, and I know that he's like that. I went to see his one-man show, and I was blown away. I sat there with tears coming down my cheeks, because for him to stand up on stage, those of us who know him, he is a stutterer. It's not easy for him to make connections, but he does, and he did, and he continues to be huge in people's lives within the industry, helping them become better than they even knew they could be.
Absolutely, that's what he does. That's what he did for me. 20 years later.
If I just go back to that share screen, let's just, because we're almost running out of time. I can't believe time just zips by when you're having fun. It's called Actress, The Role of a Lifetime. 27th of September to the 8th of October at Peter Turin's Studio Theatre in Monte Cassino. Tickets I should imagine, are already on sale, Tal?
They are, yes.
Okay, and you can get them from all the usual places, I should imagine. Ticketmaster, via the web, you can book via the theatre. If you miss it, you're going to miss out, people, because you may see Tal on stage and go, "Oh, I know who said that line," or this or that, and you can believe whatever you want to believe. At the end of the day, it's Tali's show, it's Bruce's music, it's Daniel was his name, right? Direction, and it's Collett's hard work in collabing this whole thing. Tal, I wish you the very, very best for this production. I hope it goes from strength to strength, and that Actress takes off and becomes, I don't know, another career for you. It can become a franchise. like the Fast and the Furious.
Stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened. My guest today on In Conversation With has been Tali Kodesh. Tal, once again, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Dave. I really appreciate it. And special times we had together too.